Picture this, it's Christmas Day. Families across Britain are settling in with their mince pies and mulled wine, ready to watch King Charles deliver his annual Christmas message from Westminster Abbey. And then suddenly, at the exact same moment, the Green Party leader decides to drop his own festive video. Same time, deliberately. A political message about asylum spending, released to directly clash with the monarch's traditional address to the nation. And now all hell has broken loose, because apparently someone thought it was a brilliant idea to go head-to-head with the king on Christmas Day. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. The backlash has been absolutely spectacular, and we need to talk about why this has turned into one of the most tone-deaf political moves in recent memory. But first, if you love royal drama served with a side of political chaos, hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell, because Royal Article is about to dissect this absolute mess. Now, let's establish exactly what happened here, because the audacity is truly breathtaking. Zack Polanski, the Green Party leader, who openly wants to abolish the royal family, decided that Christmas Day at 3 in the afternoon was the perfect moment to release his own festive video. Not 2 o'clock, not 4 o'clock, not literally any other time during the entire festive period. No, 3 p.m. precisely, the exact moment when millions of Britons traditionally tune in to hear their monarch speak. And according to the Green Party's own press release, this wasn't some unfortunate scheduling coincidence. This was deliberate. They actually drew attention to the timing themselves, which is like committing a crime and then posting about it on social media with full GPS coordinates. The reaction was swift and absolutely furious. Conservative Party chairman Kevin Hollenrake came out swinging with a statement that basically amounted to, "Who does this guy think he is?" And honestly, that's the question everyone's asking. Hollenrake didn't hold back, calling it shameless and disrespectful, a tone-deaf, self-promoting stunt timed to clash with a beloved national tradition. And he's demanding an apology, which Polanski will probably never give, because politicians who pull stunts like this rarely have the self-awareness to admit they've massively miscalculated. But here's where it gets even more interesting. This wasn't just about the timing. The content of Polanski's message was deliberately provocative too. While the king was talking about peace, togetherness, faith, and reflecting on a difficult year for his family, Polanski was using his platform to call for £400 million in additional spending on what he called asylum seekers, but what the press release apparently referred to as illegal migrants. He was demanding more money for what he described as undocumented young men crossing the English Channel, calling for kindness and condemning what he sees as political rhetoric and demonization. Now, regardless of where you stand on immigration policy, and that's not what we're here to debate today, you have to admit the timing and positioning of this message was politically disastrous. You're releasing a divisive political video on Christmas Day, the one day when even the most politically engaged people just want a break from the constant noise. You're deliberately scheduling it to clash with the King's message, which is one of the few genuinely unifying moments left in British public life. And you're using language and making demands that you absolutely know will be controversial and spark heated debate. It's like he sat down and thought, how can I alienate the maximum number of people in the shortest amount of time? Let's talk about the King's Christmas message for a moment, because the contrast here is absolutely stark. Charles used Westminster Abbey as his backdrop, spoke about pilgrimage and faith, reflected on a year that brought health challenges for both himself and Catherine, and emphasized themes of peace and community. It was thoughtful, personal, and designed to bring people together regardless of their political beliefs. That's literally the point of the royal Christmas message. It's meant to be above politics, a moment of national reflection and unity. The monarch doesn't use it to push policy agendas or score political points. It's one of the few remaining spaces in public life that's supposed to be sacred from the usual partisan warfare. And then here comes Polanski, deliberately crashing that moment with a political manifesto about immigration spending. It's the equivalent of showing up at someone's wedding to propose to your own partner. Sure, you're technically free to do it, but everyone's going to think you're an absolute nightmare who can't read a room to save your life. The lack of awareness is genuinely staggering. Now, Polanski and the Green Party might argue they're just exercising their right to free speech, that they shouldn't have to tiptoe around royal traditions, especially given that they want to abolish the monarchy altogether. And look, that's a valid political position. There are legitimate Republican arguments to be made in Britain. But here's the thing, if you want to persuade people that the monarchy should be abolished, deliberately disrespecting a widely beloved national tradition on Christmas Day is probably not your best strategy. All you're doing is making yourself look petty, disrespectful, and tone-deaf. You're not winning converts to your cause. You're just annoying people who might otherwise be open to hearing your arguments. The really fascinating part of this whole debacle is what it reveals about political judgment and understanding your audience. Polanski has overseen what's being described as an astonishing rise in support for the Green Party since being elected leader back in September. That suggests he's got some political skills, that he knows how to connect with voters and build momentum. But this Christmas Day stunt suggests someone who's either completely misread the national mood or who's so locked into their own ideological bubble that they can't see how badly this would play with ordinary people. Because here's the reality that Polanski seems to have forgotten. Most British people, even those who aren't particularly monarchist, still respect certain traditions. The King's Christmas message is one of them. It's been a fixture of British life since 1932, when George V first broadcast on the radio. It's something that connects generations, that families watch together, that feels like a stable tradition in a rapidly changing world. You don't have to worship the monarchy to appreciate having that annual moment of reflection and unity. And Christmas Day itself is supposed to be, well, Christmas. It's a day off from political battles. Even in our hyper-politicized age, where everything becomes a culture war battleground, most people still want Christmas to be relatively politics-free. They want to eat too much, watch telly, argue with relatives about whether the turkey's dry, and generally have a break from thinking about policy details and political warfare. Polanski scheduling his video to deliberately clash with the King's message violates that unwritten